Okay, that's where I've just come from, Hamapstead Underground Station. As I said, this is the Tyburn River walk. Just give you a panoramic view of where I am. As I said, I just crossed over from the station. I'm on what they call Lower Heath Street, which runs into Fitzjohn's Avenue, and we just continue down here till we get to Shepherd's Well. In front is Church Row, one of the most famous streets in Hampstead, leading to St John's Parish Church, where John Constable and quite a few other famous people are buried. Just continue straight down till we get to the Shepherd's Well. I'm on Fitzjohn's Avenue now. We just continue. Okay, this path is Spring Walk, takes you out by Shepherd's Walk, which leads you on to Roslyn Hill. But what we're going to do, we're just going to go straight in front, bearing to our left, down Spring Path, which will take us to Shepherd's Well. Well, at the bottom of Spring Path, we bear to our left along Shepherd's Path, so we turn left. At the end of Shepherd's Path, we're going to bear to our right into Lyndhurst Terrace. Now that's where I've just come from, Shepherd's Path. Just give you a quick panoramic view of where I am. And what we're going to do, we're going to bear to our right, and somewhere around here, going back 100 or so years, was Shepherd's Well. So we're going to turn to our right. And that's where I've just come down from Lyndhurst Terrace. Now the Shepherd's Well is around here somewhere, the exact location unknown. But there's a plaque on the wall over there saying that this was the area or the spot where Shepherd's Well was located. Now it's from the Shepherd's Well that the Tyburn River flows. So officially this is the start of the Tyburn River Walk. Now from here we're going to head down towards Swiss Cottage, then towards Regent's Park, then through Marylebone, then Mayfair, and then up by Buckingham Palace and Pimlico. So what we do now, we'll continue down on Fitzjohn's Avenue and we're heading towards Swiss Cottage. We're nearly at Swiss Cottage now. Just continue straight. We're at Swiss Cottage now, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to bear to my left by the Hamapstead Theatre where the Tyburn runs underneath. So we bear left here. In front is the Hamapstead Theatre and the Tyburn runs underneath it. So all we do is turn around here by the right of the theatre and just continue in front. Right, that's the back of the Hamapstead Theatre. Just give you a panoramic view of where I am. So we just continue in front towards the sports centre. In front is the Swiss Cottage Library. We just continue straight. Right, I'm standing beside Swiss Cottage Library, and all we do is cross over the lights in front, bear to our right, and then left down Avenue Road. Right, that's where I've just come from. I'll just give you a panoramic view. There's the Swiss Cottage Library. Okay, just give you a view of where I am. And what we're going to do now, we're going to continue down Avenue Road in front, and we'll be crossing over in a minute. So we'll just continue down. I'm still on Avenue Road. We'll be crossing over in a second. Right, cross over by the traffic lights here. And on the next turning on the right, we turn Queen's Grove. Now I've just crossed over the lights in front, and as I said, we're going to bear right here at Queen's Grove, continue to the top, and then we're going to turn left into Warrenzow Road. Okay, so we'll just continue straight in front. Okay, when you get to this point on Queen's Grove, you turn left into Warrenzow Road. This is where the two arms of the Tyburn meet up. Now you've got Shepherd's Well, that's one branch of the Tyburn, and the second one is down by the Hamapstead Town Hall, Haverstock Hill, which goes along Belsize Lane. Well, the two tributaries meet up here in Warren's Own Road. Warren's Own Road is named after Simon Warren Zoe, who was a Russian ambassador here in the early 19th century. Now he's remembered because he left a large sum of money for the poor of Marylebone, and with the money they built almshouses, which we will see in a few minutes. So we just continue straight in front. Alright, at the end of Warren's Own Road, we bear to our right. Now with the money Simon Warren left, they built almshouses here. I'm not too sure if these are the original ones. Okay, so Marylebone almshouses. And beside the almshouses, what we do is continue straight, and I'll be bearing to my left shortly. Well, I've just crossed over from the almshouses. That's to give you a panoramic view of where I am. I'm not too sure what that building is, but anyway, all we do now is turn left into Talbot Street, and we'll be heading towards Regent's Park, crossing over the Regent's Canal, so we just go straight in front. I'm still on Talbot Street. Now the building in front was RAK Recording Studios, belonging to Mickey Mouse, set up in 1976. He had quite a few artists: Susie Quattro, Kim Wilde, Jeff Beck, Donovan. Okay, we crossed over the zebra crossing, and straight ahead is Talbot Bridge, which is an aqueduct for the River Tyburn. The River Tyburn flows through the bridge in a 2 foot by 3 foot pipe. So what we do is just continue straight in front over the Regent's Canal. Now this is where the River Tyburn goes over the Regent's Canal and into Regent's Park and flows underneath by Winfield House. I'm standing on the bridge, Talbot Bridge, standing on top of the Tyburn River, believe it or not. So we just continue straight in front. Now if you look on the ground, you can see the markings of where the pipe was laid, carrying the Tyburn, going straight across diagonally towards Winfield House. Over there, on my right, is Winfield House, named after Frank Winfield, the man who set up Woolworths. Now his daughter Barbara Hutton bought the place in 1936 and built the present building, which is now the American ambassador's home, belonging to Woody Johnson, who's the present ambassador. Anyway, the Tyburn flows diagonally through the Winfield House, and what we're going to do is just continue straight in front into Regent's Park. Well, I've just come into Regent's Park, and what we're going to do, we're going to be taking to the path on our right, heading towards the lake. Now at this point on the path, you bear to your right, so you take the right hand path. Right in front you have the toilet, and all we do is just continue round, bearing to our right, crossing over Hanover Bridge, over the lake. Right, the lakes here in Regent's Park are fed by the Tyburn River. Now, back in 1867 there was a tragedy here. 40 people were drowned in January. The lake was iced over. There's over 150 people on the lake, and suddenly the ice cracked and people fell in and drowned. Well, after that accident, the lake was drained and the lake was filled in, so it's only about 4 foot deep. So what we're going to do is just continue round by the lake now. In front is a central mosque, and the lake or pond in front is the children's boating pond, paddling pond. But as I said, we just continue round beside the lake, and we'll be leaving by Clarence Gate. Just give you a panoramic view of where I am, beside the lake. Now this is where the Tyburn leaves the park, somewhere around here, along Gloucester Place, and then towards Marylebone, Marylebone Lane, and then into Mayfair. In front is Clarence Bridge, and what we're going to do, we're going to be bearing to our right, leave Regent's Park here by Clarence Gate. We're heading down Baker Street, we'll cross over to Gloucester Place. Okay, we leave Regent's Park here, cross over the lights, continue in front and bear to our left down Baker Street, and then we'll be heading round by Gloucester Place. Okay, now that's where I've just come from, Regent's Park. I'm here now on Baker Street, and what we're going to do is continue along in front, and then we'll be bearing to our right towards Gloucester Place in a minute. We'll be passing the Sherlock Holmes Museum in a minute. Right in front, as I said, is the Sherlock Holmes Museum. As you can see, it's only early and there's a queue waiting to go in. In front is Baker Street, Underground Station and Lost Property Office. Okay, what I'm going to do, we're going to try and get back onto the Tyburn. Just turn right here and then get onto Gloucester Place. Okay, we're on Gloucester Place now. Just give you a panoramic view of frame. So we turn left here and we just continue straight across Marylebone Road, straight down Gloucester Place. Okay, when you get to this point, that's the Marylebone Town Hall in front. We're just going to cross over and continue straight in front. We'll be turning left shortly down Crawford Street. Right, when you get to this point in Gloucester Place, as I said, we just bear to our left along Crawford Street. Right, at this point on Crawford Street, we just cross over Baker Street and continue straight. Right, I'm on Paddington Street, we just continue in front. Right, on my right is Paddington Gardens, so we'll be going through that entrance there and crossing diagonally to A Brook Street. Okay, I'm in the gardens. All we do now is bear to our left and continue round in front. Just continue in front. So that's where I just come from. I'll just give you a panoramic view of where I am. Just continue round on the path in front. Right, we leave the gardens here into MOLTON Street, but we'll be returning immediately right into Brook Street, which is another name for the Tyburn. Right, that's where I've just come from, Paddington Gardens on MOLTON Street. As I said, we're going to turn immediate right here into Brook Street, which is another name for the Tyburn. We just continue to the bottom and then we'll be burned to our left. Now the Tyburn would be running along underneath my feet. Okay, at the end of Brook Street, all we do is bear to our left and we'll be heading into Marylebone Lane following the Tyburn. Well, at the end of Blandford Street, we just cross over Marylebone High Street and straight into Marylebone Lane following the Tyburn. So we just continue straight across and follow the Tyburn into Marylebone Lane. Now that's where I come from, Airbrook Street into Blandford Street. Just give you a panoramic view. I'm on Marylebone High Street, just give you a view where I am. And all we do is just continue in front into Marylebone Lane, following the Tyburn. Just give you a panoramic. This is the High Street in front, but as I said, we just bear heads into Marylebone Lane. I'm on Marylebone Lane. All we do is just continue on following the path to my right. Right, that's where I just come from. I'm still on Marylebone Lane, and all we do is, as I said, we bear to our right and just continue straight in front along Marylebone Lane. Just continue straight. We'll be burned to our right shortly. Okay, when you get to this point of Marylebone Lane, all we do now is, as I said, we bear to our right here. We're heading towards Wigmore Street. Right, all we do is cross over Wigmore Street and continue straight in front. We're heading towards Oxford Street. Right, all we do is continue straight in front along St Christopher's Place. We just continue straight in front. Just give you a panoramic view of where I am. Just continue out onto Oxford Street. Right, about 50 yards in front you've got HMV store, and it's said that the Tyburn flows under there. Well, that's disputed, because beside it you've got Bond Street Station, and when they were digging up the station they altered the course of the Tyburn. But anyway, going back to the true course of the Tyburn, we cross over the lights here and we're going to go down Gilbert Street. Now before 1725, Oxford Street used to be called Tyburn Street or Tyburn Road, and it's because people from Newgate Jail were carted along here for execution at the Tyburn Tree. The last execution was in 1783. It was a John Austin, the highwayman. Anyway, we just cross over, as I said, the lights and continue down Gilbert Street. Now that's where I've just come from, St Christopher's Place. I crossed over Oxford Street, and here I am on Gilbert Street, and we just continue straight down in front. Okay, we just continue straight in front. Unfortunately, a lot of this area has all been under redevelopment, so we're going to have a few diversions. But then we just continue along Gilbert Street here, and we'll be turning to our left shortly. As I said, we're going to turn left down St Almson's Place. As you can see, it's going down into a dip. Now that's where the Tyburn will be flowing. Just continue down the dip. Right, that's where I just come out from. As you can see, loads of building work. We just cross over Davis Street here and just continue in front into Davis Mews and round. Just follow Davis Mews round. Just continue round into South MOLTON Lane, and we're heading out by Brook Street in front. Now that's where I've just come from, South MOLTON Lane. I'm on Brook Street now. In front you've got Claridge's Hotel, and straight ahead we have the American Embassy Grosvenor Square. But what we're going to do, we're just going to cross over Brook Street and continue straight along Avery Road, straight in front. Just continue, we're on the path to Tyburn. So we just continue down this slope. We just continue straight along Avery Road. Now I'm still on Avery Road. The good thing about Mayfair is that you've got so many little alleyways and courts. But anyway, as I said, we just continue in front. Right, I'm on Grosvenor Street. Now normally we just continue straight in front, but it's all blocked off. So as I said, we've got to have to make a few detours. So what we're going to do is bear to our left onto New Bond Street, turn right, and then right again and try and get back on the path. This is Grosvenor. Now that's where I've just come from, Avery Road. I'm on New Bond Street now, and what we're going to do, we're going to continue down here for a short bit and then turn to our right and get back onto the Tyburn. Now this place, Smithson, is associated with David Cameron because his wife is a consultant designer for the firm. But then we just continue. I'll just give you a view of where I am on New Bond Street. Now it's very important that you don't miss this little side turn in here by JWC. It's got a clock, so we just go turn right there. Let's give you a panoramic view of New Bond Street. Now that's where I've just come from, New Bond Street. Okay, now that's where we would have come down from, Grosvenor Street. I'll just give you a panoramic view of where I am. Now we're heading towards Berkeley Square, so all we do now is continue in front and up beside these garages. Now at this point, just take a slight detour on your right here, and there's a couple of statues. So we'll just go up on the right here. At the top of Borden Place, all we do is bear to our left. We're heading towards Berkeley Square. Berkeley Square. Right, at this point all we do is bear to our left here. So here we are, Berkeley Square. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bear to my left and straight down. Right in front is Berkeley Square, as I said, and I just come round by those hoardings. I'm here by Burton Place. All we do is just continue down and round, and we're following back by the Tyburn. And that's where I just come from, Berkeley Square, on Burton Place, and we just continue round and straight down, following the path of the Tyburn. All we do now is cross over the road here and carry on down by the right of the Coach and Horses public house. And so we just continue straight down. Just continue round. That's where I've just come from. We're at the other end of Berkeley Square now. Over there is Annabelle's nightclub, which has been recently done up. And what we're going to do, we're going to cross over here and we're going to go down Lansdowne Place. So that's where I've just come from, across over. And as I said, the Tyburn follows across here along Lansdowne Road, and we'll be heading towards Curzon Street. We're heading into Curzon Street now. Now the Tyburn will flow all along here towards Shepherd's Market. Well, I'm standing beside the church, and what happens now, the Tyburn flows over there on the left underneath by Shepherd's, the entrance to Shepherd's Market, so we'll be heading over there. I'm on Curzon Street. And as I said, what we're going to do, we're going to be bearing to our left down Shepherd's Market, following the Tyburn. Okay, we go underneath the arch and just continue to the bottom, entering Shepherd's Market. Right, that's where I've just come down from. Just give you a panic run view of Shepherd's Market. The Shepherd's Market had quite a reputation, it still has a reputation. Now the Tyburn, there's a bit of a dispute where the Tyburn goes from here. Some say it goes down Whitehall Street straight in front and comes out by Lord Palmerston's house. Others say it continues round and down by Camden Street. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go down Whitehall Street. Okay, I'm just giving you a panic run view of where I am. That's where I came from, underneath, from Curzon Street. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go down by Whitehall Street. Let's give you a panic run view, which is in front. And I come out by Lord Palmerston's house. Now this is where the Tyburn will now enter Green Park. Well, that's where I just come from, and in front of all this hoarding is or was Lord Palmerston's house, the In and Out Club. Now what we're going to do, we're going to cross over here, Piccadilly, and into Green Park, heading towards Buckingham Palace. Okay, that's where I've just come from, by Palmerston, Lord Palmerston's house, the In and Out Club. And we'll be entering Green Park, which is here on my left. Now this is what you get along by the park here, people selling their artwork. Okay, welcome to Green Park. Now this is where the Tyburn enters, somewhere around here, and it flows all the way down towards Buckingham Palace, through St James's Park, and it heads in two directions. One part of the Tyburn goes to Westminster and the other one goes to Pimlico. But then we just continue straight in front. We just continue straight in front till we get to Buckingham Palace. On the right of the path is the Canadian Memorial. And we just continue straight in front, Buckingham Palace and the Canadian Gates. Well, that's where I've just come from, Green Park. Just give you a panoramic view in front, Constitution Hill. And beside me, Buckingham Palace. Now the Tyburn goes through Buckingham Palace. In front, Buckingham Palace. Now here the Tyburn splits into two. You've got one part goes all the way to Pimlico, which we'll be going to shortly or later, and the other part goes all the way along Pettyfront, along Tothill Street, up by Westminster Abbey, where it splits. And going back about 1,000 years, Edward the Confessor started building Westminster Abbey there, where he's entombed, on Thorney Island. So the Tyburn splits a part of land called Thorney Island, where Westminster Abbey sits. Well, I'm standing beside Queen Victoria's Memorial, looking down at the Mall. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a slight detour from the Tyburn. I'm going to continue along the Mall and then into St James's Park, and then I'll rejoin the Tyburn by Pettyfront. So we'll just go across by the Blue Lake in St James's Park. As I'm taking a slight detour, I'm going into St James's Park here, beside the lake, which was fed by the Tyburn, and we're heading towards run by Petty France. Let's continue on beside the lake till we come to the bridge. So when you get to the bridge, we just cross over the bridge and continue straight in front. The view from Blue Bridge, crossing the lake in St James's Park, or at St James's Park. Let's give you a panoramic view of where I am. And straight ahead you've got Buckingham Palace. And that's where it comes from. Okay, we just carry on straight, cross over Birdcage Walk, and we're heading back to the Tyburn, to the proper path of the Tyburn, should I say. And on Birdcage Walk, named after Charles II, who enjoyed his birds. And we'll just cross over the light and continue in front. Just continue, St James's Underground Station's in front. Just give you a view. Alright, St James's Underground Station, designed by Charles Holden. Now we're back on the path of the Tyburn now, and all we do is bear to our left and just continue on until we get to the Abbey, Westminster Abbey. St James's Underground, magnificent building. Just give you a panoramic view of where I am. Now all we do now is continue straight along Tots Hill Street. So all this area used to be known as Tots Hill Field. So we just continue in front till we get to Westminster Abbey. Just give you a panoramic view of where I am. Now at this point the Tyburn splits into two. One part of it goes straight ahead along the embankment, and that New Scotland Yard building goes into the Thames. Now the other half goes around by the Abbey here, Westminster Abbey, along Great Smith Street in front, and enters the Thames by Millbank. Now Westminster Abbey and Westminster Palace were built on what they would call Thorney Island, and it was the Tyburn that made it, or created the island. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cross over by the light here along Great Smith Street, and I'm going to hopefully come up by Millbank where the Tyburn enters the Thames by Victoria Tower Gardens. So we'll just cross over and go continue in front. Just continue on by Great Smith Street. Give you a view of where I am. I'm on Great Smith Street. Okay, just come all the way around here, and when you come to this point you turn to your left into Little Smith Street, and we're heading up towards the Thames. And when you get to this point you just bear to your left. Right in front is the entrance to Westminster School of Nick Clegg, sorry. You can go straight through out by the Abbey. But then what we're going to do, we're going to bear to our right and continue till we get onto the Millbank. Right on my left is College Green, or better known as Brexit Green. This is where all the newscasters, broadcasters, radio people come to interview politicians about the latest carries on with Brexit. Then we just cross over into Victoria Tower Gardens, and where the Tyburn enters the Thames. Right, that's where I've just come from, College Green, cross over the zebra. I'm on the Millbank, and here I am at the end of the Tyburn, entering the Thames here. Over there is Buxton's Memorial. He was famous for ending the slave trade. Just give you a panoramic view of where I am. There's a happy dog. In front he's got the Palace of Westminster. Right, Westminster Bridge. Now somewhere along here, the Tyburn enters the Thames. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to Buckingham Palace and we're going to go along to the Pimlico branch of the Tyburn. So this is the end of the Tyburn, the Westminster part of the Tyburn. Right, I'm back at the front of Buckingham Palace, and now what I'm going to do, the Pimlico branch of the Tyburn. Now I've just come back from Westminster, where the Tyburn finishes, where it was once Thorney Island, but now I'm going to do the Pimlico side of the Tyburn. So what we're going to do is just continue to the end, and then we're going to go to our right. Now, as I said, we just continue along by the railings here, continue round by the right of the railings, and we're heading towards Queen's Gallery, where we're going to